What's up, people? Sharky back once again, just bombing you guys with reviews this week. And today, you're getting a 2-for-1 special. We're looking at the Marvel Legends series Phantom Rider and also Marvel Legends Werewolf by Night. So, let's rip into it. So we'll start with the boxes. We'll look at this guy who I've been looking forward to getting, and you have a look at what he comes with. And you may notice that the Build-A-Figure piece is absent. And that's because I bought these from a collector in Hong Kong who only wanted the Build-A-Figure pieces. So if you're here for the Build-A-Figure pieces, you won't be seeing them. So sorry. Anyway, school teacher Carter Slade, it doesn't have his name there, or surname I should say, dons a ghostly white costume to meter out justice as the Phantom Rider, spirit of vengeance in the Old West. There is the side panel art, which I do dig. And there's a picture of him on his horse Banshee, which we don't get. Cross-sell of this wave, and of course the execution of Build-A-Figure. And we've got this bloke. Rah! Again, no Build-A-Figure pieces. There ain't much going on in this one, but it is what it is. Bit of side panel art here, and another one here. We'll do the blurb now. Jack Russell, get it? Jack Russell, as a Jack Russell owner, I find that amusing, is heir to a strange, excuse me, lycanthropic curse. Maybe I've got a lycanthropic curse. Whereupon, beneath the light of a full moon, he transforms into the werewolf by night. Yes, he does. Cross-sell once again. Blah, blah, hippity-hoopla down the bottom. And that's the whack. So let's get these bad boys out of the box and have a look at all and sundry. And as I'm prone to do, once I get a figure out of the box, I like to see how it will stand without any manipulation. So we'll chuck old mate Harry over here. Oh, he doesn't want to. He's going to fall. Bend those feet. Yeah, oh, he feels. Oh, I'm going to. Yeah, we'll talk about this more in a moment, folks. Anyway. So. All right. Let's try the Phantom Rider. No issue. Okay, so after a little manipulation of the thighs and the feet, he is indeed standing. Huzzah. So, the way I'm going to do this is, we'll look at all the accessories first and then we'll do the figures. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And I just want to say that if you aren't familiar with my channel, this is a good opportunity to hit the subscribe button. And I say that because due to my geographical location of Australia, I tend to get a lot of things first. And our proximity to Hong Kong also sort of plays into that. So press the subscribe button if you want. If you want more Marvel Legends, if you want more G.I. Joe Classified reviews coming your way, then here's your one-stop shop. Anyway, let's look at the accessories for old Jackie boy here. There are none. Yeah. I have opinions on this. You get one set of hands, one head, and of course the Build-A-Figure part that I don't have, and that is it. It is bare bones. Yeah, I think that is poor form from Hasbro and from Marvel and Disney. I think at the very least should have had an extra head sculpt included. And, you know, of course he doesn't come with any weapons or anything like that. He's not that kind of character. But for the price that they are now charging, there should be a bit more bang for your buck. Especially when you see, focus please, focus, pins. Anyway, we'll get to the figure in a minute. So we may as well look at the Phantom Rider's gear. He comes with an extra set of hands, and they are for punching. This camera's not wanting to focus. Come on, mate. And around these parts, we go when we do a punching motion. So yeah, fists for punching. That's those. You get a ghoulish grabby hand. And that's pretty much it. On that front, you only get one of those. You get Carter's 6-shooters, which, of course, being a cowboy-themed character and proficient in the use of these, he should come with them. And they look okay. They're nothing major in terms of quality, but you know, they got the white handles on them, pearl handles, I guess you could call them, phantom handles, whatever you want to call them. But that's it. That is the accessories. I don't believe his hat is removable. It's all one part. Yeah. And of course, he's got the holsters on the belt. So that's the accessories, folks, for both characters. Yeah, look, I will say this. With a bit of knowledge of this character, I'm a bit of a fan of this character. My first introduction to this character was, in fact, this book right here. And that was the very first Avengers book that I owned. And this is not the exact copy. This is one I bought later. But I've been a West Coast Avengers fan ever since, due to that book that I got as a wee lad many, many moons ago. With that in mind, one thing to point out with him, his skill set, as I said, he's proficient with pistols. He's also proficient with a lasso and throwing knives. He doesn't come with either of those. I guess the fact he doesn't come with his horse Banshee probably eliminates the lasso, but, you know, a knife would have been nice. But anyway, that's the accessories. So let's look at the figures. We'll start with Buggerlugs here. And I will say this, it is a nice head sculpt. The angry wolf face does look good. Got some nice textured hair and beard. He can look, oh wow, he can look up that far. Which, for a character that, you know, the moon plays a large part, you think a bit better head articulation would be in order when he comes with nothing. He can look down, and he can, oh wow, he can't even look to the side. Look at this. That is shit. Oh wow. All right. Arm-wise, they're a bit clunky, but you can hear them actually. Sorry, I just had to sneeze. Anyway, looking at the chest piece here, again, some nice texture along here and the abdominal muscles. Having a look at the shoulders, and here's another disappointing fact. There is no butterfly joint in that shoulder. Which again, for a character that is going to be in poses, you know, where he's like on his hands and knees and running, you would think that that would be an inclusion. But no, they have cheapened out once again. Double pinless, well, not pinless, there are pins. Double jointed elbows. The bicep swivel does work fine. I like the hair on the arms here. God, this figure also feels quite gummy. Like, it feels cheap and nasty, to be honest. Just, yeah, just average. Anyway, wrist swivel. The hands are articulated to there, and you can go back to about there. Got some nice deco on the nails, and there's a close-up. It's probably a bit dark to see, but there's a close-up of the oh, come on camera, stop being shite, of the hair on the forearms. Yeah, his arms can only go up to about there. Oh, it's so clunky. Oh, it's rubbish. All right. At least the torso articulates decently. Ab crunch. Oh, wow, I spoke too soon. He can't He can't go back further than that. Wow. There's that lovely waist cut that we all know and love. Again, pathetic. Thigh swivel, no problems there. Again, a little bit rickety. Can kick his own ass, no problem. The legs are actually moving better than the top half. And there's a close-up of the bare knee. I do like the detailing on the pants down here, the torn trouser legs. It is nice. And there's a close-up of the belt buckle. Whoop-de-doo. But this is where, again, it gets pretty average. There is no boot cut at all. At all. His feet can go 10 toes down, no issue, and they can go up. Those clodhoppers are huge, mate, and you still struggle to stand. Oh gosh, so crunchy. This arm actually feels like it's going to like break. Like, look at that. Wow, just wow, Hasbro. Far out. All right, that's that figure. He can bloody well stay there. All right, moving on to the one I've been looking forward to the most, the Phantom Rider. Face sculpt is obviously reminiscent of the character, 100%. As I did mention earlier, the hat is not removable. You can look left, you can look right. Look at that neck articulation. Oh, wow. It puts that thing to shame. And that's saying something. Unreal. All right, look at that. Oh, butterfly shoulders. There we go. Look at that. Well done, Hasbro. You didn't cheapen out on this one. Ab crunch. You can go to about there. The cape's going to inhibit this, but he can go back further than old Wolfman Jack over there. There's a close-up of the belt and the holsters. We've probably seen these before, I dare say. Maybe not the belt. Maybe. Also, there is no articulation in the waist. Like, he cannot go side to side, but he can obviously pivot with no issues. Leg-wise, moving up our cape here. It's a little bit stiff, but not too bad. Yep. He's winning the ass-kicking contest, no problems. And he is definitely a little bit crunchier than Werewolf by Night, but not in a bad way. Flipping it around, there's the cape. We've no doubt seen this before. I thought they might have actually used this one, but they didn't. It is the more generic one. And I feel like this Spider-Man Noir is a better kind of like duster jacket. I'm surprised I didn't use this. I think it would have looked heaps better. Especially considering that he doesn't come with a horse. Anyway, back to the articulation. Thigh swivel, no problem whatsoever. Boot cut. Oh, look at that. Boot cut. Amazing. Feet 10 toes down, no issue. And they can, of course, go up somewhat to about there. This would be good to remove this, and it can come off, of course, if you take the head off, and get a cloth goods cape. Why we don't have more cloth goods capes yet is just mind-boggling. But that's the figure. That arm is just a little bit tight there. There we go. So let's tool him up. And I'm just taking the cape off so you can have a look at how he stands without that. And look, I don't recall ever really seeing him without the cape in any of the comics, but you know, I guess if you wanted to have him without the cape, or if you wanted to customize this figure in any way, as I mentioned, you could of course get a cloth goods cape. But I want to see how this guy goes, getting him into some poses. Here he is, howling at the moon. Oh wow, he He does not want to stand up. I had him literally standing like 2 seconds ago off camera, and now I've got him here. There we go. God, that's as far as the head goes up, just to give you more of an idea of, like, I just don't get it. Why would they do that? Why? Just stupid. You know, you like, even to get him into a kind of like a running sort of pose. Let's see how this goes, because those feet aren't going to move. It's going to be a bit tricky without some fiddling. I wonder if I can get that foot to balance. Nah. Okay, I have got him to balance. Let's see how we go. Come on, mate. Oh, this figure. Come on. I had him literally off camera 2 seconds ago, and now doesn't want to do it. It doesn't help that the flag is moving. Oh, you bugger, get in there. We could be here all bloody day, folks.
A few moments later.
All right, let's try this again. There you go. Whatever. That's what I think of that. I'm sorry if you came here for that review. Like, seriously, don't. If you want that character in your collection, I would suggest not wasting your money. All right, because I clearly have. Anyway, let's get this guy sorted out again. Now, old mate here, no issues. You know, even that stance at all. It took me all of 2 seconds for that to stand. I've changed over to the grabby hand here as well, which, you know, I don't really know what sort of use you can have for that with this character, but you can see it. There's a close-up of it for you on the hand. But yeah, that's pretty much it with these two. So why don't we do some comparisons? All right, first up, you've got my favorite Iron Man suit, the Silver Centurion version from the West Coast Avengers pack, along with Mockingbird. Now, the reason that I put her in here is because this character has quite the connection to her. Controversially, not Carter Slade, but his brother Lincoln Slade, who became the Phantom Rider, was a naughty boy, and he abducted Mockingbird here, drugged her, and then had his way with her. And I never thought that we would see them do a Phantom Rider for that reason, because, you know, it is somewhat frowned upon, I guess, dark kind of story in the history of Marvel. So to actually get him in the line is great. So on the left you have Marvel's version of Dracula, and I've got the Forgotten King from Operation Monster Force over here. And the reason I paired him with these two is because of his ghostly fashion. I figured, you know, he fits in with a macabre character like Dracula, and of course, you know, the lore that Monster Force is creating around the Forgotten King. We don't have a lot of 6-inch Western figures to compare him to, so I don't have any other cowboy figures. So yeah, we're going to make do with what we have, folks. That's that. Let's do some comparisons with this bloke. Okay, so you've obviously got Blade over here on the left and Moon Knight over here on the right. The reason I've chosen them is, if you are familiar with the lore of this character, you will know that he has come across these two guys a couple of times in his character's life. So I figured it'd be good to see him paired with them. I didn't buy him for that purpose. I bought him more to pair with Operation Monster Force, but kind of regretting that decision. Like, I will say, he does look good with them. All right, I'll be honest. I'll give him one good critique. He does look good with them. There you go. But let's switch these guys out. Oh my God, it is all happening today, folks. So speaking of Monster Force, you've got the Killer Warg over here, and you know, he's the only werewolf character I currently own to compare him to. And I popped the Maximum Hulk in here. The reason being is that he once went up against this guy in one of the comics. If I had a toy dumpster to compare him to, that would be probably the best fitting comparison, but I don't, unfortunately. Anyway, you've seen how he looks with these big blokes, so let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. Well, look, we'll start with this guy. He is your prototypical Marvel legend in terms of, you get a few things. He articulates well for the character, and he is true to the character in most respects. I can't fault it, on that front at all. It's a nice looking figure. It's very bare bones, of course, because he is all white, but as I mentioned earlier in the review, it is one of my favorite sort of villains from the past of Marvel, so I dig it. And, I like this character too. Don't get me wrong, I like werewolves, so it was a no-brainer to get it. And I knew, obviously, that it came with nothing, but, man, as I showed you guys, like, the lack of range of movement, the pinned elbows, his inability to get into good poses and stand, like, I've got him doing his best Freddie Mercury impression right now. Like, it's just piss poor. Let's be honest, Like I said, value for money. Is it there? No, it is not. They could have improved upon this so much more. And I feel like people who are big fans of this character, they have to exist, are going to be bitterly disappointed with it. And like I said, save your money. Like, it is not worth the price at full retail. Wait for that thing to go on clearance. It will. Guaranteed. Anyway, by this point, I don't want to sound like a sourpuss. We know what we are getting with Legends at the time, but you can't not point these things out. Like, it's just not good enough with this figure at all. Anyway, folks, if you made it this far, well done. Congratulations. If you did enjoy the review, please feel free to hit the like button, share it with your friends. I hope you had a laugh of it. Like, you got to laugh at this stuff. Like, you can't get mad at it, right? You got to have a laugh. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit the subscribe button as well. And you know what? While you're at it, you may as well hit the hype button. Hype it up. Hype it up so people see that this is a piece of trash. Like, do a good service for the community. Community, as people like to say. Well, some people. Anyway, that's all, folks. Have fun with your toys. And until next time, say hi to your dogs for me.